Hi you guys, my name is Kendall Burns and I am here to show you how to make the cutest little gnomes. They are so easy, so cheap, and absolutely adorable, as you can see. Okay, so before we begin, you guys, I quickly want to go through the things that you will need. The first thing you'll need are clear plastic loot bags. Get them from the Dollar Tree, they're great. We're gonna be filling that with sand. So, I stole sand from my children's sandbox, and I'm hoping that there's no cat doo-doo in the sand. You can, however, buy little packets of sand at the Dollar Tree. It just raises your expense, and I was making a lot of gnomes, so I just headed to my backyard and grabbed bags of sand. So the loot bags, you will need socks. However many gnomes you need, that's how many socks you need. So I got this awesome they're children's ankle socks. I got them from the Dollar Tree. They came in a 3-pair pack, which meant I could make 6 gnomes with the $1 pack of socks. Next, you will need something for the wooden nose. So I found these are 3/4 inch beads from Michael's. They were $4.49, but I used a 40% off coupon. So they ended up being less than $3 for a 27 pack. Next, you will need some fabric. You'll need some fabric for the beard. You'll need some faux fur. I recommend getting this at Joann's and Hobby Lobby. They sell it by the yard. They also occasionally in the craft aisle at the Dollar Tree will have faux fur that you can buy. If you want to make a bunch of gnomes, I would probably just go buy it by the yard, and you probably don't need that much. You probably only need 1/4 of a yard, and that'll get you like 30 gnomes. Because as you can see, the piece doesn't have to be very big. And then you will need your hat fabric. So I love fabric so much. I'm like kind of addicted to buying it. And I love projects like this where I can use the fabric that I've bought, because I do sew, but I don't sew a ton, and I buy way too much fabric. So I was super excited when I saw this project, and I thought, oh, I can get out all of my Valentine's fabric that I have gathered over the years. So you'll need about a 12-inch by 12-inch square of fabric for the hat. So I am actually going to do 2 different gnomes for you. I'm gonna do one with you watching me like this, and then I'm gonna do one where you have a view over my shoulder, so you can see a little closer what I am doing. Did I also say you need a hot glue gun? I can't remember if I said that or not, but you need a hot glue gun as well. So let's get started. Okay, also just a side note before I start, I made Valentine's gnomes, but the great thing about this project is you could make gnomes for any holiday, and they're adorable, and you could also make gnomes and just change out their hats. So if you wanted to have a gnome that just had an interchangeable hat, a different holiday patterned hat, that works. So I love this project, you guys. Okay, our first step is going to be to fill one of your bags with sand. And you don't fill it very full. You can see this, it's like 1 inch full. This one is much more full. My gnomes kind of all turned out the same. Some are a little bit more plump, so, but the point is you don't need that much sand. And then I just put the tie up at the top. I think I actually cut this down a bit too, because it had a lot of extra plastic. But I put the tie, and then you just kind of shape your sand. You just kind of put it down on its side, and you take a sock, and you put your sand bag inside of your sock, just like so. And then you just shape it. Just shape it the way that you want it. Just like that. Sorry, I'm fidgeting with it, and you can fidget with it as much as you want. With some of these gnomes, I actually ended up hot gluing the sock shut and then gluing it over, just so that it didn't, like some of my hats were sticking up taller than I wanted them to. So you can hot glue the sock shut and glue it down so you just have this shape. Okay, so your next step is going to be to lay your sock down and glue the beard on. So basically, the top of where you can feel the sand is, or so that the beard hangs right off the bottom of the sock. That's how you'll lay it down. And then I just flip over the top, and I'm just gonna do hot glue on the beard. And then I'll press it down. And attaching the beard is as easy as that. I love hot glue. Isn't it the greatest thing ever? Okay, so beard attached. Okay, the next part is probably the most challenging. It is how you get this hat to fit on. So I put it down like a diamond in front of me, and I fold up one edge, and then I put my gnome right where that fold is, and then I fold over the side, and I fold over the side, and I fold over the front to where it overlaps, and I do a dab of hot glue right there. Okay, so that is done. And then I start at the top, and I fold over one side and fold over the other, and I actually just do a dab of hot glue. Fold over to just kind of make this corner top. And then, since we're not sewing, we don't want these frayed edges to be on the outside, so we're just turning the rough edge, the raw edge inward, and then just kind of creating our own seam here. So, I don't know if you can tell from this angle, but I just basically sandwiched a seam. And I'm going to take my glue gun and just do a strip of hot glue, and then just pinch that seam closed. Does not have to be perfect. It'll pinch and pull at different places, and that is totally fine. And it also won't line up perfectly at the bottom. So there'll be some gaping and some, but the more you do it, and I will say there's a little bit of a learning curve to getting these quite right. And from the back, you can tell they don't look perfect, but from the front, they end up being adorable, and it doesn't much matter anyway. So I just am gonna start and go at it here. And like I said, you're just taking and trying to like close off this hat as much in the shape of a triangle as you can. Not a perfect triangle, just a triangle. And just like that, I have my hat finished. So you can see it kind of ends up being like whoop. And currently it's sitting on, I put it on my bag of sand just for sizing, and then you just pop it off and turn it around so that the nice part of the hat goes toward the front of the beard. And you just pull it over to where you want it. And there's the gnome with the hat on. Then you just kind of tuck the hat down to the side. And then we just have one more step, and that is hot gluing the nose on. So I always save that for last because you want to position it based on where the hat is. So I just lay it back down, and I like to push the beard out of the way of where I'm going to glue my beads. Now my beads have a hole through them. You can try to find some that don't. It didn't bother me that much. I just kind of like put the beard over where the holes were. So I take and I put a significant amount of hot glue just right there where I'm gonna put this, and I put the bead in, and not only do I put it in, but I kind of squish it down so that those beard hairs can come over the side and cover the holes. All right, you guys, oh my gosh. How adorable did that turn out? It was so easy, right? You guys, I promise everyone can make these gnomes, and they're so cute. Okay, you guys, now as promised, I will show you from a different angle. So hopefully if you had any questions, this will answer those. You take your bag of sand, you place it inside your sock, Okay, now that is ready to attach your beard. So you're just gonna line up the bottom of your beard with the bottom of your sock. I flip over the beard fabric and just take some hot glue along the top, and it's easy as that. Then we are going to take our hat fabric, and we're gonna fold up the bottom. I'm gonna place our gnome right there in the middle. Then we're gonna fold the two sides over, kind of like, it's looking like an envelope. And then we're gonna take the front pieces and just overlap them. I think I'm out of hot glue. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're gonna overlap them with just a strip of hot glue. Hopefully my hands aren't getting in the way here. Then we're gonna move to the top here. I like to fold over one side of the top and fold over the other side of the top on top of it to make a triangle point. That to me just kind of starts off the triangle. And then you just carry on from there. So you flip the raw, so you don't want this fraying stuff coming out. So you fold that in on both sides, and then you fold the sides together. Okay, so just like so, and you just put a little bit of hot glue in the middle there. And like I said, there is a learning curve a bit to this part of the gnome. This is the trickiest part because it doesn't line up perfect. Look at, you have to make this all fit together and it won't be perfect, but it will work, I promise. You just can't be hung up on it looking perfect because that is not this kind of project. So you just put some hot glue and you kind of can just pull your sides together. There we go. Mine did not work out perfectly. That's okay. Then I just have this gap right here. I'll just do some hot glue on, pinch it together, and there I have a little bit of a gape right here, so I'll just put some hot glue there, push it down. All of this is hot gluing to itself, so it's actually not attached to the gnome yet because we want the ugly part to be in the back and the pretty to be in the front. So we just pop it off, turn it over, and slip this hat right back on, but the pretty side. Okay, now we need to finish with our nose, so I just separate the beard a bit to make a place for this gnome's nose, and I push the nose in place. And I like to just kind of push it down into the sand and cover it a little bit with the beard. And then you just kind of push the hat how you want it. Some of my gnome hats I figured maybe they were too tall, and so I put a little dab of hot glue to keep the hat to the side, but there it is. Cute little gnome.